George Bernard Shaw 99 quotes, "Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Don't wait for the right opportunity, create it." People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Both optimists and pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents the airplane, the pessimist the parachute. Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. After all, the wrong road always leads somewhere. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. Beware of false knowledge, it is more dangerous than ignorance. War does not decide who is right, but who is left. There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire. The other is to gain it. Youth is wasted on the young. A gentleman is one who puts more into the world than he takes out. There's no love sincerer than the love of food. All great truths begin as blasphemies. I learned long ago, never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. Without art, the crudeness of reality would make the world unbearable. Islam is the best religion and Muslims are the worst followers. Take care to get what you like, or you will be forced to like what you get. English is the easiest language to speak badly. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. Make it a rule never to give a child a book you would not read yourself. I often quote myself. It adds spice to my conversation. A cigarette is a pinch of tobacco rolled in paper with fire at one end and a fool at the other. He who can, does. He who cannot, teaches. To be in hell is to drift, to be in heaven is to steer. Self-control is the quality that distinguishes the fittest to survive. Dancing is a perpendicular expression of a horizontal desire. Life is not meant to be easy, my child, but take courage, it can be delightful. I'm not a teacher, only a fellow traveler of whom you asked the way. I pointed ahead of myself as well as you. My religion? Well, my dear, I am a millionaire. That is my religion. A happy family is but an earlier heaven. Whiskey is liquid sunshine. Patriotism is your conviction that this country is superior to all others because you were born in it. The only time my education was interrupted was when I was in school. Any man who is not a communist at the age of 20 is a fool. Any man who is still a communist at the age of 30 is an even bigger fool. The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I have got a hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. If you teach a man anything, he will never learn. All progress depends on the unreasonable man. We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. If you begin by sacrificing yourself to those you love, you will end by hating those to whom you have sacrificed yourself. Most people do not pray, they only beg. The harder I work, the more I live. The secret to success is to offend the greatest number of people. Only fools repeat the same things over and over, expecting to obtain different results. Some people look at the world and say why. Some people look at the world and say why not. To be a champion, you must live like one. Imagination is the beginning of creation. A photographer is like a cod, which produces 1,000,000 eggs in order that one may reach maturity. As long as I have a want, I have a reason for living. Satisfaction is death. The power of accurate observation is commonly called cynicism by those who have not got it. He knows nothing and thinks he knows everything. That points clearly to a political career. Life is too short for men to take it seriously. Now that we have learned to fly the air like birds, swim underwater like fish, we lack one thing: to learn to live on earth as human beings. The man who has never made a mistake will never make anything else. Happy is the man who can make a living by his hobby. My specialty is being right when other people are wrong. When a man wants to murder a tiger, he calls it sport. When a tiger wants to murder him, he calls it ferocity. The longer I live, the more convinced am I that this planet is used by other planets as a lunatic asylum. The liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Man's inhumanity to man is only surpassed by his cruelty to animals. Imitation is not just the sincerest form of flattery, it's the sincerest form of learning. The fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. Youth is a wonderful thing. What a crime to waste it on children. All autobiographies are lies. I do not mean unconscious, unintentional lies. I mean deliberate lies. A fool's brain digests philosophy into folly, science into superstition, and art into pedantry. Hence university education. Marriage is an alliance entered into by a man who can't sleep with the window shut, and a woman who can't sleep with the window open. Better never than late. The only sensible person is my tailor. He measures me anew each time he sees me. Better keep yourself clean and bright. You are the window through which you must see the world. Patriotism is a pernicious, psychopathic form of idiocy. Some look at things that are, and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not. I want to be all used up when I die. Hegel was right when he said that we learn from history that man can never learn anything from history. The unconscious self is the real genius. Your breathing goes wrong the moment your conscious self meddles with it. The function of the actor is to make the audience imagine for the moment that real things are happening to real people. Indifference is the essence of inhumanity. England and America are two countries separated by the same language. There is only one religion, though there are 100 versions of it. If at age 20 you are not a communist, then you have no heart. If at age 30 you are not a capitalist, then you have no brains. tradition will accustom people to any atrocity. I never resist temptation, because I have found that things that are bad for me do not tempt me. If you leave the smallest corner of your head vacant for a moment, other people's opinions will rush in from all quarters. Youth, which is forgiven everything, forgives itself nothing. Age, which forgives itself everything, is forgiven nothing. Use your health, even to the point of wearing it out. That is what it is for. Spend all you have before you die. Do not outlive yourself. We have no more right to consume happiness without producing it than to consume wealth without producing it. The great advantage of a hotel is that it is a refuge from home life. You have learned something. That always feels at first as if you had lost something. What we want is to see the child in pursuit of knowledge, and not knowledge in pursuit of the child. I am the most spontaneous speaker in the world because every word, every gesture, and every retort has been carefully rehearsed. The truth is the one thing that nobody will believe. Sherlock Holmes was a drug addict without a single amiable trait. I don't know if there are men on the moon, but if there are, they must be using the earth as their lunatic asylum. Marriage is popular because it combines the maximum of temptation with the maximum of opportunity. Being a mother means that your heart is no longer yours, it wanders wherever your children do.